Ira?
Coach, you end up having to bring in some young guys in the game. I thought Coach Malzahn mentioned they might have been scout team before. Did they know what they were doing? I mean,
Well,
what was that?
yeah, they were on a scout team probably both 2 weeks ago, but both started to progress well, do some good things over there. So we had just moved them over with us, so they had an understanding of the game plan, and we felt confident. After once injuries happen, you got to move on to the next guy. We felt confident that they can go in and operate the offense.
Brendan?
How, I guess, difficult, I know next man up, but how difficult was it to lose Deuce in that passing game, and do you have any update on how he's doing?
Definitely difficult to lose your guys that have been playing, your guys with experience. But right now when you talk about it, we're just watching his progress throughout the week. He feels confident, feels good about where he is. We feel good about where he is, but we'll see how that plays out.
Peter?
Coach, what do you like about what you've seen from Makai Dancing last couple weeks, his progression, and what you want to see going forward as he continues to improve?
Love what I've seen from Makai, and just in every phase of it. You just watch a guy that's from week to week, he's taking advantage of opportunities, and he still has a lot of room to grow too. And that's what I really, enjoy about coaching him. He understands the areas that he got to continue to get better in, but right now he's capitalizing on a lot of opportunities that he gets. And what everyone sees, the things that go on the stat sheet, the big plays and explosive plays that he's able to make. But when you challenge him in perimeter blocking, you're watching his physicality and his ability to screen to try to help his teammates create big plays. That's when you know that there's total buy-in there. So very pleased with where he is, and Makai, he's going to be a really good player.
Chris?
For Tariq, Tae'Shaun, young guys who got in there, how beneficial was it for them to get some experience in a game setting, and what did they learn from that?
Yeah, I think it's big. Like you say, you lose guys, and that part of it hurts you, but for the experience that is gained for those young guys, it's big for our program moving forward. Big for their careers to be able to get in there when the game is still in crunch time. Because a lot of the times that they played this year, it's been lopsided, and it's a lot different when you're in those situations. So the experience is going to help them, and you saw it today in practice. Like Tae'Shaun Gelsey out there today, that confidence showed now that he felt what it feels like to be out there in real time.
Brendan?
If I can follow up on Makai, you mentioned that there's still ways for him to go, but he could be good. Like, just given how much he's developed in such a short period of time, what is his upside? Like, what could he eventually end up being?
Oh man, he can be one of the best. He can be one of the best. I really do believe that, and it's not just because of his skill set. He's blessed with a lot of good length. He's strong. He's a wiry, but he's strong at the point of contact. You see, he break tackles. His ability to make contested catches, but his coachability. He's a kid that right now he holds on to everything that you say. And when you have a guy that has that kind of buy-in with the abilities that he has, like, the sky's the limit for him. And I really think that you're gonna see a lot more of him. And I'm just really excited to see what his future looks like.
Ira?
On his, I want to ask about both the touchdowns. On the first one, I don't know if that's the route, but it looks like he's adjusting to the ball where he kind of starts going upfield. And then on the other one, how rare is it to be able to get past the secondary in that situation?
Hey man, he got real speed, and our quarterback trusts him with that. On the first reg, you see, we had another guy running the wheel route down the sideline, but just the trust that he has in Makai's speed to still be able to get over the top, he put it out there, and Makai just showed his ability to adjust to that ball, and that's exactly what he did. He adjusted to the ball, and he made the play. A lot of guys, that's hard for a lot of people to do when they're just learning to play this position. So to see some of these things that he's doing this early, it has been very impressive.
Go ahead.
And you can't speak to the coverage they were playing necessarily, or how they were coaching their defense, but do you think it's hard for DBs to understand how fast he is? Does he change the formula for defensive backs?
Well, I'll say just from any defensive coordinator standpoint, any defensive staff, when you probably go down our depth chart, everybody gives a rundown on most Sundays, and probably in every packet you're gonna see what he's done in his other sports. So I think they know how fast he is, but some guys, they just have that ability to still be able to get behind people because, schemes, there's holes in every scheme, there's holes in every coverage, and people try to take away, certain things, and when you got a guy with speed that can at least get even with you, like it's tough to keep up with him.
Liam?
Well, with Lil Wayne coming back, obviously, he got some reps against Miami action last week, maybe not as many, but just what does he bring the recovery process he went through to get back in that position so quickly?
Edge, toughness, confidence, And he brings that to our entire receiver unit. You know, when he was out, we missed that. You know, we got really good players in there. We got really good young players that are constantly continue to develop. But LaWayne has certain kind of competitive nature to him that all of our guys feed off of. And you watch him with every game that he plays, with every week that he goes through with us, is helping the rest of the group continue to get better because they push each other, and he does that. He brings that energy every single day. You know, our DBs feel it, and the rest of our receiver group know, like, when he's bringing it, they got to make sure they bring theirs too. So it's been great to have him back. And, you know, just one thing about him, when you watch him, the opportunities that he's gotten, he's capitalized on every opportunity that has come his way. When you talked about the ball coming to him, but when the ball's not coming to him, he's a dog. He's a dog. And you can look at his frame and probably say that he can't do this, do that. Like, he's been one of our most impressive perimeter blockers since he's gotten back playing. So the ball's going to come his way more. And I truly believe that, because I believe if you play hard in all those other areas, it'll come to you. And, you know, but LaWayne has done a good job of maximizing his opportunities.
Brendan?
With Squirrel, and I understand he's dealt with several injuries this season, only 4 touches, or 4 catches, I should say. How's he doing with that aspect, mentally, maybe not being as productive as I'm sure he would have liked?
You know, when you're an experienced player like him, he's been through a lot. And, you know, he knows this season, you know, being in the lineup, out of the lineup for, you know, injuries and all that, he understands that being in and out the lineup, that takes away opportunities. But that experience kind of helps him deal with it, because this, you know, this isn't the first time that he's dealt with some injuries. He's dealt with them at different times of his career. But I think he's done a really good job with our young players that are, you know, that had started the season playing behind him. Like, he's a big part of Makai's development. Like, behind the scenes when we're in practice, he's one of those veteran guys that's helping Makai in his transition to being a wide receiver. And he's doing that, understanding that it may take away some opportunities with him as Makai continues to develop, but he's a total team player. And I think right now, you know, he's in a good position to get himself back going, and we're excited to have him back. But he'll get those opportunities too, and I feel confident that he'll make sure he makes the most of them.
Corey?
Frustrating might not be the right word, but challenging when it comes to just never having your full receiver core ready. Like, since Squirrel it just seems now Deuce had to go out, Squirrel was out, LaWayne was out. How challenging has it been, and are you ready to, like, showcase what you guys can be if you're all healthy on the field?
No, absolutely. You definitely want them all out there, you know, together and healthy. You know, you would love to have that, but at the end of the day, that's, you know, that's out of our control. Definitely out of my control sometimes. A lot of these guys, they don't ask to be hurt. Things happen, but this is big time football, and you know, you recruit really good players that you feel good about, that are built the right way to be able to come in and take advantage of opportunities. So, you know, that's how I look at it, and that's what I challenge our guys with. Don't matter who's available, who's not available. You know, if we give you an opportunity to be, you know, with us in practice every day, get opportunities to be in the game, the standards don't change. And we truly believe that you can do it. Young, old, you know, whatever, we train you like that every day. And I want them all with the mindset that they can go out there and get the job done. And you're seeing some of our young guys do that. You know, Squirrel went down early in the year, and you're probably thinking, you know, Makai, his role gonna be just a reverse or speed sweep guy. Now you seeing him, you know, being a guy in the pass game that can make explosive plays. And you'll see that from more guys as opportunities come. And I feel confident with whoever's out there, they're gonna be ready to get the job done.
We'll do 2 more. Ira?
You've been around sports your whole life. You've probably been a part of losing streaks.
Yep.
What's the key to getting through this, and what have you seen from the guys, how they're handling this?
Well, and just belief in each other, belief in, you know, in what they're being coached to do, you know, staying together. There's a lot on the outside that can start, you know, seeping into your head, and that's, you know, that's everywhere. You know, that's sometimes it's family, sometimes it's just reading Twitter and all that. But if you focus on what's in front of you and you believe in the guys that you go to work with every day, you know, you pull yourself out of that. And I truly believe that this group is built that way. You know, and you know, for us, it starts with us as coaches too. We got to show that belief in them. And when they know that we're loving on them and that we truly believe in them, that confidence will come back, and, you know, it'll flip. It'll flip. We have great confidence in that because we watch them work every day. So, you know, just leaving practice today, like for the receiver group, that was probably as good as we've practiced as a whole. Truly was. Just the competitiveness that they came with, the ability to make plays, the focus that they were in, and, you know, that's a testament to what they're being coached to do and them believing in it.
Aslan?
You know, the offense has been very productive and effective, but there's been moments where it feels like maybe you can land a kill shot, like, you know, first drive in the second half against Pitt, there was a drive against Virginia. is that lack of edge, is it details, or is it just credit to the other team for also being able to, make plays themselves?
Well, first of all, I got respect for every defense that we've gone against who, all of them have done good things to slow us down at times. But I think for us as an offensive staff, number one, and what we try to make sure we preach to our players is, as good as we played and as good as some of these numbers look and all that, those series that we can take control of games and put games away and all that, that's where we have to take the next step. And, and a lot of times that's on us. You see some of the things that have happened to slow us down, whether it's penalties, turnovers, those are all things that we control. And, we gotta make sure we fix those things. So, as good as some of the stuff look, you go back and you look at those series from each of these games where we could have done a little bit better to put our team in a better situation than we did. And that's the challenge for us moving forward, is fixing those things where we can do that.
Okay.